The mental divide. If you think powerful people win because they are smarter, you're already wrong. They don't think better than you. They think differently. And once you understand this difference, you'll never see people, power, or control the same way again. Power does not begin with action. It begins in the mind. Most people believe power comes from strength, money, or position. Machiavelli knew that belief was dangerous because it keeps people chasing the wrong things. Power is not about what you have. It is about how you interpret reality. There is a mental divide in the world. On one side, people who react. On the other, people who anticipate. Powerful people live ahead of the moment. They don't ask, "What should I do now?" They ask, "What happens if I stay silent? Who benefits if I wait? Who reveals themselves if I do nothing?" Ordinary minds chase fairness. Powerful minds study outcomes. Machiavelli noticed something uncomfortable. Good intentions often lose to clear strategy, not because goodness is weak, but because the world rewards results, not motives. Powerful people separate emotion from decision. They feel fear, they feel anger, they feel doubt, but they don't let those emotions decide timing. Most people speak to release tension. Powerful people speak to create tension. Silence in their hands is pressure. When you speak less, others speak more. And when others speak more, they expose leverage. Another difference Machiavelli observed: ordinary people want to be liked. Powerful people want to be needed. Being liked makes you optional. Being needed makes you untouchable. So powerful people think in structures. They don't win debates. They design systems where their position cannot be removed. They don't fight rivals. They wait until rivals destroy themselves. This is how power thinks: quiet, patient, unemotional. And once this mindset forms, power stops feeling aggressive. It feels inevitable. How power sees human nature. Most people believe they understand others. Machiavelli disagreed. He believed most people misunderstand human nature because they judge others by intention, not behavior. Powerful people reverse this. They don't ask, "What did he mean?" They ask, "What did he do when it mattered?" Because intention lies, behavior doesn't. Machiavelli wrote that people are loyal when it's safe, honest when it's convenient, and moral when it costs them nothing. That wasn't cynicism, it was observation. Powerful people accept this without resentment. They don't hate human nature, they design around it. Most people trust first and correct later. Powerful people observe first and commit later. Trust, to Machiavelli, was not blind faith. It was a calculated exposure. You never give someone power over you before seeing how they handle small power, how they handle praise, how they handle silence, how they behave when unobserved. Powerful people test quietly. They create situations where others reveal themselves naturally. No interrogation, no confrontation, just patience. Another difference: ordinary minds look for consistency. Powerful minds look for patterns. People contradict themselves constantly, but their patterns never change. Fear repeats, desire repeats, self-interest repeats. Machiavelli trusted patterns more than promises. Promises are made in comfort. Patterns appear under pressure. This is why powerful people remain calm when others panic. Panic reveals information. When people feel safe, they perform. When they feel threatened, they show truth. Machiavelli warned that disappointment comes from expectation. Powerful people expect human weakness, so they are rarely surprised. And because they are rarely surprised, they are rarely controlled. Understanding human nature does not make you cruel, it makes you prepared, and preparation is power. Morality versus survival. Most people believe morality is strength. Machiavelli believed morality without awareness is exposure. This is where powerful thinking separates itself completely. Ordinary people ask, is this right or wrong? Powerful people ask, what happens if I don't act? Machiavelli did not reject morality. He rejected moral blindness. He understood that the world does not pause to reward good intentions. It moves forward, with or without you. Powerful people understand this early. They realize that rigid morality makes you predictable, and predictability is easy to exploit. If people know exactly what you will never do, they know exactly how to corner you. Machiavelli warned that those who cling too tightly to virtue in a corrupt environment often become victims of their own principles, not because virtue is wrong, but because it is unprotected. Powerful people protect their values by being flexible in expression. They don't announce their limits. They don't declare moral lines publicly, because declared limits become leverage. Another hard truth Machiavelli observed: people forgive harm faster than weakness. Cruelty, when controlled, creates fear. Weakness creates opportunity. Powerful minds understand that fear stabilizes faster than love when survival is at stake. But Machiavelli also warned, uncontrolled cruelty destroys legitimacy, so powerful people apply force rarely, decisively, and with justification. They never act emotionally. Emotion leaks intention, and intention invites resistance. Most people want to be seen as good. Powerful people want to be effective. Effectiveness allows them to shape outcomes that appear moral afterward. They understand that history judges results, not hesitation. Another key difference: ordinary people follow rules even when rules are outdated. Powerful people study who benefits from the rules. Rules are not sacred, they are tools. Machiavelli believed laws exist to preserve order, not fairness. When laws stop serving stability, powerful people adapt around them, quietly. This is why powerful people avoid moral speeches. Moral speeches attract attention. Attention attracts scrutiny. Scrutiny limits movement. Silence preserves flexibility. Machiavelli understood that survival comes first, because without survival, virtue has no future.
Risk, timing, and decisive action. Most people avoid risk. Powerful people avoid unnecessary risk. That difference defines outcomes. Machiavelli noticed that hesitation is often disguised as caution. People wait not because the moment isn't right, but because they fear responsibility. Powerful people think differently. They understand that time itself creates risk. Waiting too long allows others to move first, and whoever moves first defines the battlefield. Machiavelli believed fortune favors the bold, but only when boldness is informed. Reckless action destroys power. Endless patience dissolves it. So powerful minds learn to read timing. They watch momentum. They sense fatigue. They measure attention. When opponents are alert, they wait. When opponents relax, they move. Timing turns small actions into irreversible outcomes. Another key difference: ordinary people want certainty before acting. Powerful people act when uncertainty peaks, because uncertainty paralyzes others. When people don't know what will happen next, they hesitate. Powerful people step into that gap. They don't need perfect information. They need direction. Machiavelli warned that indecision creates more enemies than wrong decisions. A clear mistake can be corrected. A visible hesitation invites challenge. This is why powerful people act decisively. Once a decision is made, they commit fully. No second guessing, no public doubt. Confidence creates momentum. Momentum attracts followers. Followers create legitimacy. Machiavelli also understood that risk is easier to manage when consequences are concentrated. He advised acting once, strongly, rather than repeatedly, weakly. Repeated pressure keeps wounds open. Single decisive action allows healing. Powerful people strike cleanly, then restore calm. They don't enjoy chaos, they use it. And once stability is achieved, they protect it fiercely.
Loyalty is not given, it is managed. Most people believe loyalty is emotional. Machiavelli believed loyalty is conditional. Powerful people never assume loyalty. They observe it, they test it, they structure it. Machiavelli noticed that people stay loyal as long as loyalty is beneficial or safe. The moment cost appears, loyalty is questioned. This is not betrayal, it is human nature. Powerful minds accept this without bitterness. They don't rely on gratitude. Gratitude fades. They rely on interest. Interest renews itself daily. This is why powerful people tie loyalty to outcomes, not feelings. They make themselves useful, indispensable. When your presence solves problems, your absence creates fear. Fear sustains loyalty longer than affection. Another key difference: ordinary people reward loyalty with trust. Powerful people reward loyalty with position. Position creates responsibility. Responsibility creates caution. Those with something to lose behave differently. Machiavelli advised never giving someone full power without giving them full accountability. Power without consequence invites ambition. Ambition without restraint invites betrayal. Powerful people divide influence. They avoid concentrating loyalty in one place, multiple stakeholders, overlapping interests, so no single betrayal can collapse the system. This is not paranoia, it is architecture. Machiavelli also warned against over-reliance on friends. Friends feel entitled. Entitlement breeds disrespect. Powerful people maintain respectful distance even with allies. Closeness blurs hierarchy. Hierarchy preserves order. Another uncomfortable truth: people respect consistency more than kindness. Kindness changes with mood. Consistency creates predictability. Predictability creates safety, and safety keeps people aligned. Machiavelli believed that controlled fear is more reliable than uncontrolled love. Love asks, fear obeys. But fear must never become hatred. Hatred seeks revenge. So powerful people balance authority with fairness, firm, measured, unemotional.
Perception is stronger than reality. Most people believe reality speaks for itself. Machiavelli knew better. Reality is filtered through perception, and perception decides loyalty, resistance, and survival. Powerful people understand that people rarely react to facts. They react to stories. Who looks strong? Who looks confident? Who looks inevitable? Machiavelli advised leaders to appear virtuous, even when being virtuous was impractical. Not to deceive constantly, but to protect authority. Because once authority cracks, every action is questioned. Powerful people manage image carefully. They don't explain themselves. Explanation suggests weakness. They let outcomes speak, while shaping how those outcomes are interpreted. Another difference: ordinary people defend themselves loudly. Powerful people control the narrative quietly. Silence allows rumors to die. Overreaction feeds them. Machiavelli believed reputation should be built slowly and defended decisively. A single visible response is often enough. No repetition. Repetition signals insecurity.
Powerful people also understand that appearing unpredictable creates safety. Predictability invites manipulation. When people can't anticipate your reactions, they behave cautiously. Caution reduces threats. Machiavelli warned against revealing true intentions. Intention, once exposed, can be countered. Powerful people communicate in layers. What is said publicly differs from what is decided privately. This is not dishonesty, it is strategic discretion. Another insight. People forgive outcomes if the image remains intact. They accept losses if leadership appears stable. That is why powerful people protect dignity above comfort. They never appear desperate. Desperation invites attack. Calm discourages it. Machiavelli understood that power survives not on truth but on believability, and believability is crafted.
Power lives in systems, not people. Most people believe power belongs to individuals. Machiavelli believed that was temporary. Individuals rise, individuals fall. Systems endure. Powerful people stop trying to control people directly. People resist control. They argue, they rebel, they betray. So powerful minds do something smarter. They shape systems, rules, incentives, expectations, consequences. When systems are designed correctly, people control themselves. Machiavelli understood that the safest power is the power no one feels. When behavior is guided by structure, there is no need for force, no constant supervision, no constant conflict. Power becomes quiet, stable, invisible. Another difference. Ordinary people seek obedience. Powerful people seek alignment. Obedience disappears when pressure fades. Alignment persists. Machiavelli advised leaders to reward behavior that supports the system, not personal loyalty. This shifts focus from personalities to outcomes, and outcomes don't argue. Powerful minds also decentralize blame. Systems absorb mistakes. No single person becomes a target. This protects authority long term. Machiavelli warned against ruling through fear alone. Fear requires presence. Presence exhausts. Systems rule even when you are absent. That is why powerful people invest in structure. Once systems are accepted, resistance feels pointless. People adapt, and adaptation looks like consent. The final truth Machiavelli left us with: power is not about domination. It is about stability. Stability creates peace. Peace creates legitimacy. Legitimacy creates longevity, and longevity is the real victory. If you followed all 7 parts, you now understand the mindset most people never see. Power doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It doesn't beg. It designs the world and lets others move inside it.